What can you do now to make more money and less mistakes? This is a big question with a very simple answer. You gotta set hard and fast rules based on 9 important questions. In this video, I will share those 9 questions so that you too can ask them and create rules based on your own answers. Stay until the end and find what the most important question is, because if you're not asking it already, you're in trouble. But before I provide the list of questions, let me shed some light on the first thing people ask me every time this subject comes up. They ask, do you ever break your own rules? Well, if I were to tell you that I am perfect and follow the rules to the T every single time, I'd be lying. I'm not perfect. I still make mistakes. I still make bad investment. I still lose money, and I still feel like crap after doing it.
I was on a sabbatical, but Lee Brown 9658 requested for me to come back. And yes, Damien, you do make stupid mistakes, moron.
However, what I don't do is complain, play the victim, and I don't quit.
What, you think you're David Goggins now?
Now, do I break my own rules? Yes, on occasion, but it is only occasionally, and if I decide to defy my own rules, the risk versus reward must be worth it. Setting up rules is a great way to keep your business in line and in the black. They can keep you from making irreversible mistakes that can ruin you. I believe that every business must have rules, guidelines, and policies in order to be successful. Let's dive right in. In order to understand how I came up with these questions, you must first break your business down into 3 parts: buying, shipping, and storage. And like the sound of music says, let's start at the very beginning, a very good place to start. You can start by smashing that like button, sharing this video with the community, and subscribing to the channel so you don't miss out on future videos that will help you make more money. Question 1, new or used? This dictates where you buy. Will you engage in retail arbitrage like shopping clearance at Walmart, buying at Ross, Marshalls, Burlington, etc.? Will you buy new merchandise in bulk? Will you be investing in overstock pallets? Or will you be more into thrifting, maybe hitting up your local Goodwills, church sales, garage sales, flea markets, and the like? I began with used only, but now I engage in both new and used products. Thankfully, through hard work and dedication, my business has grown enough that I can diversify my product portfolio, buying into 2 categories. The channels I use are as follows. I sell items imported from Mexico. I buy or make my own private labels. I purchase at auctions. I buy into wholesale pallet merchandise. And I also engage in thrifting. To the untrained eye, it may seem like I'm doing too much, but the systems, processes, and contacts I have built over many years allow my business to work very efficiently. To answer the question, new or used? Both. Question 2, what categories are you willing to buy in? This speaks to whether you will be an everything store or if you will niche down. I personally like the everything store model because it allows for flexibility in this tough economy. I also get to learn about many different products at a time. This makes my job more challenging and entertaining. This model is recommended for beginners simply because you don't know what you want to focus on at the beginning. Typically anyways. Niching down usually happens organically, so just take a chill pill and you'll know when the time is right. To answer the question, what categories are you willing to buy in? Whichever make me money. Question 3, where will you be selling your items? Although most resellers nowadays prefer to work on eBay, Amazon, Poshmark, and similar platforms, e-commerce may not be for you. Let's say you hate shipping, don't know how to do it, and don't want to learn. That's all good. You are definitely limiting your earning potential, but people want what they want. Maybe running sales at your local flea market, having a booth at your local vintage mall, or having a brick and mortar store is more your speed. You get to choose what model is best for you, and this will definitely have a big impact on how you source. For example, instead of just buying small items to ship because you're online, you can also purchase furniture or larger finds and sell them locally. And to answer the question, where will you be selling your items? eBay, Amazon, and local wholesale to mom and pop shops. Question 4. What are the max dimensions of the products you will buy? Depending on what you want your business to look like, you may opt out from buying larger items. Maybe you just want to ship clothing, maybe just small glass. Typically, the larger an item, the harder it is to ship. Most resellers choose not to ship larger items. This is where I come in and sweep up all the profits. I am willing to do what others won't. As a pro tip, this is a great attitude to have if you want to stay competitive and ahead of the game. 99% of people aren't willing to put in the extra hard work to make it to the top. Do you want to be part of the 1% or the bottom 99%? Let me know in the comments below. And to answer the question, what are the max dimensions of the products you will buy? Almost anything, but I try to keep it under 24 by 24 by 24, especially when it comes to breakables or otherwise known as glass. Question 5. What is the max investment amount per product or per day? The answer to this question varies so much depending on cash flow. If you have enough money to be spending $1,000 per day, great. If you have 100 to spend per day, no problem. One is not better than the other, although it may seem that way. I've met resellers that have so much money to spend, not because they are that profitable, but because they don't invest enough. They want to feel that wad of cash in their pocket instead of making it work for them. So they hoard the profits. I believe that you should invest. This does not mean that you should spend all your profits, but you should make money work for you and not just let it sit. On that note, however, you should try and have some cash on hand to ensure that you don't miss out on great deals. How much you keep on hand depends on what you normally buy and what you're comfortable with. You be the judge of that. Generally speaking, the larger the investment amount, the larger the profit margins need to be. For example, I once purchased a $20 saxophone knowing I needed to refurb it for an additional $480, totaling $500. It may sound like a lot, but I ended up selling it within 3 days for $2,500 to a gentleman playing for a great jazz band in New York. Great investment, great return. To answer the question, what is the max investment amount per product or per day? Varies depending on cash flow. Question 6, what is your goal ROI or return on investment? This is one of the most important questions because this affects how much you make on an hourly basis. Allow me to break it down into 4 categories: retail arbitrage, thrifting, wholesale, and private label. Then the ROI varies depending on where I'm selling it, Amazon or eBay. Amazon margins are typically smaller because of how fast things sell. ROI goals are as follows: retail arbitrage, 130% or more; thrifting, 200% or more; wholesale, 300% or more; private label, 400% or more. And to clarify, for those who are not good with numbers, when I say 130% or more, it means that I'm making my money back plus an additional 30%, which means 30 cents for every dollar spent, or $30 for every $100 spent. And to answer the question, what is your goal ROI? See the previous list. Question number 7. What is the minimum sales price for any item sold? Your niche will let you know real quick what this is, and you should take into account how much time and effort it takes from each sale. If you're selling only a few items a day that sell for $5, then you need to skip going forward. On the reverse, if you're selling those same items, but you're selling hundreds or thousands a month, then it may be feasible to continue. Choose your sales price wisely so that you don't burn out doing all this work for very little return. To answer the question, what is the minimum sales price for any item sold? $10 unless it's wholesale. Question 8, if shipping items, what is the maximum time you're willing to spend on it? That's a good one. The higher the profit margins, the more time you can spend. Resellers say to me all the time, I only sell clothes because it takes me a few seconds to pack up. Well, this is correct. I politely mentioned that they have to sell 20 items to make the same amount of profit that I can make on one piece of electronics that takes me just a little bit longer to ship. Shipping times always come down to how much profit you're making on those items. To answer the question, if shipping items, what is the maximum time you're willing to spend on it? The higher the profit margins, the more time you can spend. Final question, question 9. What is the minimum STR or sell-through rate using the prior 90-day sales shown on eBay app? This is by far the most important question because it affects your cash flow, storage space, listing platform, stress levels, and overall mental health. If you don't believe me, buy a bunch of long tail items, as people call them, and see how stressed out you get when you see all that cash just sitting there month after month after month. Not good. There are 3 STRs to look at and everything else falls in between. You have minimum STR, median STR, and high STR. Minimum recommended STR is 25%. Median STR is 40%, and high STR is anything over 60%. The minimum really is up to you depending on how much cash you have and how much space you're willing to allocate to any given product. The median is taken from the industry, and a 40 to 50% STR is deemed as average. The industry also sets the high STR as anything over 40%, but I believe that for eBay and Amazon, an STR of 60% or higher should be the standard for a well-performing item. This, of course, is all moot if you are looking at categories like books versus consumer electronics. STR is an ever-shifting metric that varies by category. Do some research for yourself and see what you find. And while I'm here, do you use different sell-through rates than what I mentioned? Let me know in the comments below. It may just be that you know better than I, and I'm not above learning from someone else. Going back to answer the question, what is the minimum STR or sell-through rate? Minimum 25%, median 40%, high 60%. Those are the 9 questions you should ask yourself to make rules, regulations, guidelines, policies, or whatever. Call them what you want, but build them into your business and see how much better you buy, how much stress you get rid of, and how much your business will grow. Thank you for staying to the end of the video. I really appreciate it. And that's it. See you in the next one. Peace. ROI goals are as follows. Look at all that cash sitting around there.
This may sound like a stupid question, but was I imported from Mexico or another country?